Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here, and I'm playing Space Engineers, which is starting to become one of my most favorite games. And it's kind of fun, because all the things I've found and love to do within War Thunder, I can kind of do this just with a little more creativity. This game is still in early alpha, so there's not a whole, relative to the possibility of what this game can do, there's not a whole lot of options, and you can see me copying pasting a couple things. But this game truly, in my opinion, has endless possibilities and endless replayability, given that it is going to be able to be modded. It's only in early alpha right now. And that the Steam Workshop is going to make it so easily to be moddable. Basically, what we just saw was I'm actually making torpedoes, right? So my torpedoes consist of one block and two small ship warheads, and I have 4 of them. So this is basically 8 small ship warheads. And if you don't know what a small ship warhead means, there's 3 sizes of spacecraft right now. There are stations, large ship, and small ship. Now I'm flying a small ship right now. And you can see those little green lines are actually landing pads which are able to lock onto things. So I'm basically just firing these torpedoes via inertia. So check that out right there. So that was 8 warheads going off, all within a short confined area against large ship deck armor. You know, basically the strongest armor that we currently have in the game, and there was 2 layers of it. So it kind of punched through 2 layers in some spots. So you can see me getting into the big ship right now and kind of taking a look. And it did some damage, but I was actually kind of surprised how relative to how many warheads I had. You know, that little ship right there, that torpedo bomber, I basically converted this ship right here I'm showing off over to the left. And this is kind of the design, very basic design. 2 warheads, a reactor, and just a block. And I put on the reactor because I'm assuming that, you know, later on in development you're going to have something that maybe propels it or powers it or something like that. I don't think you need the reactor right now, but I threw it on there just for the heck of it. And then the extra block to kind of stand in as maybe an engine. You know, basically to realize that although these are inertia, you know, you may need something a little more complex in the future. What we're looking at right now is 2 of the large ship-sized warheads. So let's check these out. Now, I didn't have my inertia dampers on. So while my ship would have done a tad bit damage, in this test is kind of a little skewed right now. I want you to keep in mind that the little ship would not have done all of that damage. But basically, we saw 8 small ship warheads versus 2 large ship-sized warheads, and look at the damage. Granted, in most places, except for that little test area, I had two thickness in terms of armor plating. But that cruiser right there, granted, it's not, you know, that's not a ship of war. You know, it is not a warship, a Star Destroyer, or anything like that, if you're going to use Star Destroyer as a generic term and not as a term to define a specific Star Wars related ship. But that was looking at the small and the large warheads in size. 2 large warheads basically took off the entire left side of that cruiser. Now I know you guys are going to ask yourself, hey Baron, if we're using torpedoes, why not use them against the Yamato, right? So here's me trying to dock up next to what you're going to see on the right. I kind of showcased the Yamato, but I found something else. And while the Yamato is a little basic, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you what you are about to see could basically be termed Super Yamato. It has working turrets, and look at those little landing pads are going yellow, which means I can press P and lock that thing onto place. Now I am a little off kilter in that I only have 1 giant torpedo on my left side. But I wanted to see how a Super Yamato, basically a space battleship, a super space battleship, almost Star Destroyer-esque in size, would pair up against 1 large ship-sized warhead. And we're basically, these are, I guess, inertia torpedoes right now. So you can see me kind of turning around. I was actually turning around automatically. The weight of this thing is pretty impressive. So my inertia dampeners are on this time around, so my ship will not careen straight into that beautiful, beautiful Super Space Battleship Yamato. And if you want to see me tour that, let me know in the comments. If you guys want to see it, and I hope you do, because look at how beautiful that is. Now let's take a look. One warhead. I mean, that is a massive ship. That is a massive ship now with a massive hull. We basically breached through the armor. I believe in most areas this thing had one, as we're gonna take a closer look at the insides. I mean, we basically breached it. We can board this vessel now. This rather impressive space battleship. These warheads are going to be very, like, the potential for destruction is just immense. I mean, think how long and how many resources an empire would have put into building a beautiful capital ship, even a flagship of your empire like this Super Yamato. And then that one warhead was able to destroy it. But if you want a bigger tour of this space battleship, and it is far more impressive than the one I showed, let me know. Anyway, my name is Baron. I hope you found these torpedo and warhead videos
Alright,
helpful.
ladies and gentlemen, it's the LA Galaxy versus the New York Cosmos.
Yeah, we're gonna kick your ass, boy.
I don't even know which one.
Yes?
Alright.
Alright,
We gotta
we're
get in the
playing
middle,
soccer.
one-
Space soccer.
You gotta get one person in the middle, like off the teams. You guys know how soccer and football works.
Alright guys, we're playing
Soccer.
some space soccer.
Yeah,
this
we are.
is not even international or whatever anymore. This is intergalaxy.
Intergalactic.
This is
soccer.
interstellar soccer.